Hi, my name is Ray.
Hi, this is Michael.
Welcome to another episode of Ray's Economics Clue Book. Today, we talk about consumer choice, price elasticity of supply this time, not demand. So what is price elasticity of supply? Well, it's the same concept of demand, except now on the supply curve for producers. So basically, you have the same concept of unit elasticity, perfectly inelastic, and perfectly elastic supply. And the equation is basically the same except for supply. It's relative change in quantity over relative change in price. So delta Q over Q over delta P over P.
We have to notice that this is, usually speaking, this is greater than zero.
Yes.
Okay, unlike demand, right? Because usually price increase, more supply get into the market, and the supply more. Okay.
So basically, perfectly elastic, we see the quantity is fixed, and perfectly inelastic, and then perfectly elastic, we see the price is fixed. So they're inverses of each other, obviously, because their slopes are exactly inverse as 0 and infinity. And the unit elasticity is right in the middle.
But perfectly inelastic usually means perfectly insensitive. So which means delta Q usually don't change. Okay.
So what are the factors for price elasticity of supply? Well, we have availability, inputs, and time. Well, really it all comes back to the flexibility of the supplier, of the producer. If they're flexible in how they can change their inputs and then change their production, then you can increase the price elasticity of supply. And so availability inputs, basically more available, PEOS increases, obviously, because they're more flexible. And time kind of relates back to inputs anyways, because we have a long-run aggregate supply and short-run aggregate supply in our ADAS model. The long-run aggregate supply, you see the PEOS, you see more elasticity eventually and then reaches a peak, because we see over time producers are able to fix at one production point because they're more flexible.
Actually in the microeconomics, the time and availability of inputs, they are related with each other. Again, just as Ray mentioned, it all correlated with flexibility. Okay.
And and basically when time goes by, you see less sticky wages, and you are able to basically have more flexibility in your inputs, and then thus more flexibility.
When the price changes, and then the delta Q will increase. Okay, because more supplies can get into the market.
So what are some examples of perfectly elastic supply and perfectly inelastic supply, or similar cases? Well, we have competitive supply, which is perfectly elastic supply, and monopolistic supply, which is perfectly inelastic supply. Why is it called a case? In perfect competition, we see the price is often fixed, and the consumers really decide, eventually the demand really decides what the quantity. Delta P equals 0, price is fixed.
Because that means perfectly sensitive. Which means as long as the price increases even a little bit, the delta Q will go to infinity. A lot more supply. Right?
Because we see pizza shops and motels, and perfectly and theoretically perfectly competitive market. We see there are a lot of pizza shops and a lot of motels, and so there's really a fixed price. But if a price increases a little bit, then the supply will rocket, as Michael mentioned, because more producers enter the market because they see a chance for some short-term profit.
And actually they're also easy to set up those business.
And the monopolistic supply is the exact opposite. It is competition is limited to none. For instance, frequencies of cell towers is controlled by the government. It's a public utility. So there's only one producer, or one regulator at least, and so the quantity is fixed instead of price. Antiques such as Mona Lisa, there's only one original Mona Lisa in the world. The quantity is fixed no matter the price. There's really no flexibility at all because there's literally only one Mona Lisa.
So that means actually the numerator delta Q almost equals 0. So no matter delta P is how big, doesn't matter. We always have the elasticity equals 0. Okay, so inelasticity. Okay.
And then we have the more general cases. If there are many choices in supply, then basically, as we mentioned, delta P equals 0. Price is fixed. Fast food, a lot of fast food restaurants. Office staples, office supplies, a lot of those too.
We go back to here because we want to just review a little bit on the price elasticity for the demand. Okay, from the demand case, so actually very similar with PEOS. We can look at the PEOD, for example, when we have many choices like fast food, office staples, motels, those kind of things. The delta P usually equals 0, which means the elasticity get to almost infinity.
Because there's so many choices. If one producer raises their prices, well, they're going to see a lot of consumers drop out because they can just go to another choice.
From the other hand, if the price decreases a little bit, will be a lot more demand. A lot more demand getting into the market, right? Because the market price is almost fixed here. But on the other way,
when it comes to necessary addictive demand, delta Q is 0. Quantity is 0 for PEOD. Why? Because, for instance, utilities. We all need water. We all need utilities. So no matter the price of utilities, for most cases, I mean, it can get to some extreme. But for a large range, utilities, the quantity demanded is always constant because we need it no matter the price. For cigarettes, if we're addicted to cigarettes, addicted to tobacco, unfortunately, then we're going to buy cigarettes no matter the price. So we're not in control of price. We're only in control of quantity. Quantity is always fixed.
Yeah. So basically, it's delta Q almost equals to 0.
Yeah.
Because no matter the price, how price changes, it's addictive. It's necessary. So you gotta have it.
Yeah. So for our final close, we compared two metrics that are basically the two sides of the same coin. PEOS, price elasticity of supply, PEOD, price elasticity of the demand. PEOS measures price sensitivity to suppliers. PEOD measures it for consumers, for demand. So monopoly and scarcity, we see the elasticity is 0 because quantity is fixed. Delta Q is 0.
Yeah.
In the opposite case, perfect competition, the elasticity is infinity for producers because price is fixed.
Yeah, price is almost fixed.
Yes.
And as we just mentioned, if price increases a little bit, a lot more supply.
Yes, and in the opposite case for PEOD, if the necessity or addiction is a factor, is a large factor, then elasticity is close to 0 or theoretically 0 because quantity is fixed. We're buying it no matter what.
Yeah.
If there's perfect competition, there are a lot of choices. Well, we have a lot of choices, so why should we stick with a different price? Well, if we can go to another choice with the market price, but delta P equals 0. Price is fixed.
Yeah, price is almost fixed because once the price getting just reduce a little bit will be floodgate, right? A lot more demand will be created. Yes. So that's just like the case for the perfect competition with PEOS. Okay, so that's all the summary about all the elasticities. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Bye bye.